Welcome to the Deep Dive. Great to have you with us.
Good to be here.
So you sent over a really fascinating set of sources today. They're all centered on this artist, FENO, and particularly the track Hurry Up and Buy. Seems like there's a lot of buzz.
That's right. Yeah, we're looking at a deep dive article focusing on him, on FENO, and also some transcripts you included from the actual Hurry Up and BBY video.
Okay. And our goal here, like always, is to really get into your sources, pull out the key details, maybe find some surprising angles, basically understand why these sources are saying FENO and this track are potentially a big deal.
Exactly. Let's unpack what these documents suggest is driving the momentum. We're going to go beyond just the surface level stuff.
All right, let's do it. So first off, the sources frame FENO as a genre-bending artist, not easily pigeonholed.
Yeah, mixing styles. And the early signs for Hurry Up and Buy. Well, the source uses is massive. It's not just a little buzz.
Massive. How massive?
Well, get this. The source points to 48 million streams already in 2025, and that's before the official music video even dropped.
Hold on, 48 million before the video.
Yeah, 48 million across all platforms.
Wow, okay. Does the source kind of contextualize that? Is that normal?
It definitely flags it as unusual. It says that kind of number, pre-video, signals really significant anticipation, like serious built-in demand. The track itself was already connecting big time.
Okay, 48 million is definitely more than just making noise, as the source puts it. It's a roar.
Exactly.
So with that kind of foundation, the video becomes even more important, right? Let's talk about that. The sources say it was filmed with precision and passion.
And the director-producer is Jay Blast. The source mentions he's got a reputation for sharp visuals and cinematic storytelling.
Right, so a known quantity behind the camera.
Right.
But here's a detail from your sources that really caught my eye.
What's that?
The beats producer is also the video director. Jay Blast did both.
Yes. That's a key point the article raises. It argues that suggests a really tight-knit creative chemistry, a shared vision from the sound to the screen.
That makes sense. The person crafting the soundscape is also building the visual world for it. You don't see that often.
No, you don't. It implies a kind of holistic approach to the project.
And the look of the video, the source describes the aesthetic as this blend, gritty meets polished, trying to balance opulence and authenticity.
Yeah, that duality seems central to how the source portrays FENO. And there's a specific example from the video transcript you shared that really illustrates this.
A Range Rover.
Exactly, the $260,000 Range Rover.
Right. But then the lyric from the transcript calls it old, which feels intentional.
Very intentional, according to the source. It argues that's the key symbolism. It's not just showing off the car. Calling it old, despite its value, creates this clever contrast.
A contrast between what? Luxury and
Familiarity. It downplays the opulence. The source suggests it's a way of signaling how far the artist has come.
Ah, okay. So it's like, this is achievable now, part of the journey, not just, look at my new expensive toy.
Precisely. It grounds the success, connects it to the come-up. It balances that opulence the source mentions with a dose of authentic perspective.
That's actually quite a layered way to present it. And the sources say there's other symbolism at play too, right? Beyond the car.
Absolutely. Another detail highlighted is FENO wearing a shirt in the video that was designed by another independent artist.
Okay, seems like a small detail. What meaning does the source pull from that?
It frames it as significant, showing love and collaboration instead of competition.
Yeah.
In an industry that can be pretty cutthroat.
Right.
So the source says it speaks volumes about his humble beginnings and loyalty to the culture. It's presented as more than just fashion. It's a message.
So again, it's that theme of staying grounded, supporting the community, even amidst success.
Exactly. And the article ties these choices directly to this idea of FENO's ethos being build the platform and bring others with you. Shared growth.
Which leads us neatly into this whole platform building idea. The sources are clear. FENO is seen as more than just music.
Yeah, he's got this platform building mentality. And a prime example the source gives is something called Ghetto Cable.
Ghetto Cable, what is that exactly?
It's described as a content hub. It merges music, interviews, grassroots community media, sort of a multifaceted media outlet he's building.
Okay, so not just his own stuff, but broader content, community-focused.
That's the idea presented. And the source positions Ghetto Cable as a big part of his cultural footprint, calls it a built-in promotion machine.
A built-in promotion machine? How so?
Well, by having this platform, he's cultivating his own audience directly. The source mentions it has a strong niche.
What does that strong niche aspect give him, according to the source, beyond just, like, views or plays?
It suggests a dedicated, really engaged community, not just passive listeners. It's a direct line, fosters loyalty, and gives him influence that might be more sustainable than just chasing, say, viral hits.
Okay, that makes sense. Building a foundation. Now let's pivot back to the music itself. The source talks about FENO's general catalog having sharp lyricism, street insight, but also mainstream-ready hooks.
Right. Blending message and marketability seamlessly is how the source puts it.
And for Hurry Up and Buy, specifically.
Yeah.
Yeah, the source says it sounds like a banger on the surface, but argues there's deeper commentary happening. Now, looking at those lyrics you shared from the transcript, the hook, if you want some of this, you better hurry up and buy, talking about ounces, quarters, half, and whole things, not taking change, the hustle lines like spin that get that flip, that get packs. Couldn't someone just hear that as typical genre language? How does the source justify calling it commentary?
That's exactly the tension the source explores. It suggests themes like consumerism, identity, and hustle culture are being examined through that very language.
So the lyrics work on one level as just stating things. Bragging, maybe.
Right. They function as expressions of street reality, or success, or the transactional nature of things. But the source argues that by presenting them so directly, so starkly, lines like, killing this shit, trying to get the 2 for $5, they can also function as a commentary.
A commentary on what, though?
On the pervasiveness of that consumerist rise, maybe. Or how identity gets tied up in material success in this culture.
Right.
Or just the relentless nature of the hustle itself. The source suggests the track holds both possibilities.
Okay, so it's not saying the lyrics aren't about the hustle, but that describing the hustle so plainly becomes a kind of commentary on it.
That seems to be the argument, yeah. It speaks to that message and marketability blend again. It works as a straight-up track, but offers potentially another layer if you look closer. It invites you to think about those themes.
Interesting, that potential for layers. Now, beyond the music and ghetto cable, the sources also touch on the business side.
They do, mentioning multiple endorsement deals in progress, and not just in predictable areas. Across fashion, lifestyle, and tech brands. So pretty diverse.
Tech brands, too. Okay. What does that broader expansion signal, according to the source?
It frames it as FENO becoming a full-scale media brand, moving beyond the mic and into the boardroom, essentially, leveraging his cultural influence into actual business across different sectors.
Right. Becoming more than just an artist, but an entity.
Yeah, a business entity.
Okay, so let's pull it all together. Your sources lay out a pretty clear case for why Hurry Up and Buy is, as they say, positioned for impact. Can you recap the main factors listed in the article?
Sure. First up, the production by Jay Blast, remember him? Described as hard-hitting, clean, and replay-worthy. Solid foundation.
Got it. What else?
Then the visual storytelling, connecting that luxury plus narrative idea from the video details to audience retention, keeping eyes glued.
Makes sense. Then the symbolism.
Yep, the strong symbolism. We talked about the artist shirt, the Range Rover thing, other cultural references woven in, adds depth.
And you can't forget the numbers.
Definitely not. The real stream numbers, that huge 48 million pre-video figure, signaling that built-in demand.
Okay. What else is on the list?
There's the cross-platform buzz, meaning the momentum isn't just in music, it's spreading from music to media to merchandise.
And ghetto cable?
The ghetto cable influence.
Yeah.
That built-in promotion machine and the strong niche audience it cultivates.
Right, that finally.
Finally, that potential for cultural commentary we just discussed, linking message plus mass appeal to potential longevity, more than just a flash in the pan.
So when you put all those pieces together from the sources, what's the bottom line?
The conclusion the article draws is that Hurry Up and Buy isn't just another track release. It's framed as a statement.
The statement, okay.
Yeah, and based on everything, the production, the visuals, the platform, the business moves, that existing momentum, the sources you shared suggest FENO isn't just next up. He's already here.
Already here, and according to them, just getting started. With the video about to drop, those streams already banked. It definitely sounds like the sources see significant potential.
It's presented as a very strategic, multi-pronged approach.
Absolutely. So here's something for you listening to maybe chew on, based on our dive into these sources today. We see artists like FENO building these huge platforms, becoming media brands. How do they manage that balancing act? between staying true to their roots, their authentic expression, and creating this broad, marketable identity.
Yeah, that's a key question.
And thinking about those potential layers in FENO's lyrics, the symbolism the sources highlight, what does his approach, as presented here, suggest about what success and authenticity even look like in the music world right now? Something to keep in mind as you hear more from him or other artists navigating that same space.